White Belt Wednesday.
White Belt Wednesday.
White Belt Wednesday.
So I'll be the MC. Common question someone asked, they are either an advanced white belt or they're a new blue belt, and they are still having a hard time submitting people. And they want to know, is that a problem? Is this a sign they're not progressing? Are they doing something wrong? What do you think?
I don't think it's about doing anything wrong. I feel your frustration. I do. And I think it's just one of those where they talk about like the highs, the plateaus, the lows. It might be a plateau where you just feel like maybe things aren't working today, and so maybe drill it a little harder, and I think eventually it'll come. I think it is common. Like you just feel like things should work when they don't, and it could be at any belt level.
Well, the other way to look at it too is if you map out your journey from white belt to black belt. White belt is a great time to work on just surviving, right? Especially, it's like, who are you submitting? Because you're like, if you're trying to submit a black belt, is obviously you shouldn't feel bad that you're wrong with your instructor, you're not submitting them. Otherwise, jiu-jitsu wouldn't work. So are you just getting inside your head because the other guy that started the same day as you, and you're just comparing yourself against somebody else, which is not ideal. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, everybody has their own pace. They're going to improve at a certain point. So in my head, Solo's book, Solo Ribero's book, University of Jiu-Jitsu, right? And the way he broke down the book was like white belt techniques, and it was like you just how to position yourself so you don't get submitted, so survival. Then after that came escapes, after that came control, and then at the end was submissions. So it was like this progression of, can I survive? So am I putting myself in positions where I don't get submitted? Which, as a white belt, you find yourself, there's like a lot of things you're doing that you're submitting yourself. Mm-hmm. You're giving like your opponent a straight arm and you get arm bar. You're going one arm in, one arm out, and you get triangle. You're giving up your back. You're letting people get hands really deep in your lapel and you get choked. So first, figure those things out. After that, how can I get out of bad positions? Mm-hmm. How can I escape side control? How can I open my opponent's guard so I can pass the guard? How do I get out of the back? So for my white belts and how we're building the program here is I want everybody to be really good positionally first before we spend a lot of time and emphasis on submissions. Because you always see white belts at tournaments, it might be great at tournaments because they figure out this one submission really well. But then as soon as they get mounted, they crumble. Mm-hmm. Or they get side control and they crumble and they couldn't get their submission. So you always see this one white belt, especially kid with long legs who figures out this one triangle and can hit it from anywhere and wins a bunch of white belt tournaments. And then they get to blue belt and they can't triangle people anymore because the guys have better defense, and then they're just getting crushed constantly. Or a white belt that figures out a Tomonaga to an armbar if they have a little bit of a wrestling background or a judo background. And same thing, as soon as they get out of the white belt time period and they get to blue belt, and then suddenly their game doesn't work because they rely so much on that one submission. I mean, this happens with upper belts too. Sometimes you get this purple belts have this amazing triangle game, and then they get a knee injury and they can't triangle people for a little bit, and then they're forced to do something else, and then their game crumbles. So, long answer, bringing it all together is you just make sure, don't overemphasize submissions early on. Learn how to survive bad positions, learn how to escape those bad positions, and work on controlling people first. So, can I hold somebody inside my close guard? Can I hold somebody, if my guard opens, if I have an open guard that functions, I can keep people from passing me. So if you're at the bottom, that's what you should think about, because from there you're going to launch attacks. And then the other side of that is, if you're in side control, can you hold side control? Can you hold mount? Can you hold the back? Because if you can hold those spots, then you can launch attack after attack after attack, and eventually you're going to get something. But if you're not good positionally, it's going to be hard for you to go for submissions because you're in a bad, you don't have the steady pressure and the control you need in order to get your grips in place and get the choke, or grab the arm and put the arm in position to go for an armbar.
Yep. I give people this answer that they hate because it's one of those black belt answers where you just get to not answer it. Where if they come to me and they say, I can't submit people, and they're a new blue belt or even a middle blue belt, and I go, okay, are you being submitted a bunch yourself? No, I'm not getting submitted. Okay, are you escaping from bad positions? Yeah, I can escape bad positions. okay, can you hold people down and pass the guard? Yeah, I can do all those things. It's like, sounds like you're a blue belt.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't a problem. It will come with time.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the right thing, but the right thing right now is in submissions.
Yeah. So it'd be what's the word? Process. You're like worry about the process, not about the outcome. So a lot of people when they think about like how many submissions they got in practice, you're worrying about the outcome. You're not worrying about the process. So
Yeah.
just make sure you're improving. You'll be okay.